Alright, top of the AM, niggas. Or for me at least. Guess I pick up where I left off at. Checking out these goddamn layers. Nah, I guess I'll come back and deal with that later. I think that's what I'm gonna do when after I finish this. I'm gonna come back and point a few things out I wanted to deal with. But right now we'll just deal with the keep going from where I left off at. Now, I was breaking down these matter of fact, let me go to the beginning of this. To see actually what where these texts are coming from. Okay, I think this is from the shrine of Tutankhamun, King Tut. Alright. So I left off, I was talking about Neef, the vulture. Now when you go back to Kemet or Africa, the vulture was used as a sign of it's basically used as a representation of putrefaction or the part that putrefaction plays, or the decay or breaking down of something, the part that plays in regards to nourishment. Because a vulture, just like a jackal, they one of the things that they do in regards to eating is they have the ability to they have the ability to know when's the right time within the process of because you know they eat dead body, they eat the flesh of the dead or whatever, other dead animals and stuff and shit, anything they come across. But they have the they know when to calculate the perfect time within the process of the decaying of the dead flesh. They know the proper time to eat it and transform it into nourishment. And that's Osirian within itself, because the whole, one of the things that the breaking down of the body of Osiris represent is the putrefaction, which the build and destroy process. Putrefying or breaking down in order to be reassembled back stronger. So just like fertilizer, you know, they use cow manure as fertilizer. So the cow eats, breaks down whatever it eats in its body, the grass that it eats, and the manure from the cow is taken and put back in the dirt and used to ain't used in the process of fertilizing soil. So another name for the dark goddess is Neptes, or Neptes. Neb. Neb. One of the definitions of Neb is the nose. So that would be the nose, Neb, and then T is it's spelled any. Sometimes it's spelled NEPTHYS. I mean YS, Neptes, Nepthot. And then sometimes you'll see it spelled Nebatip, NEB, which is Neb, the nose, the he tip. But I was telling y'all in well, that was a while back in other series, but the he tip, the mount of rest. So the nib, which would be the nose, and this would be the he tip. All right, here the 7, the he, and the tip. You know, which is interesting because when you go back into Hebrew, he, He, is, see, today when we say he, we refer to men. But when you go back into the Hebrew, he was feminine, which is very interesting. And then when you go to Kemet, you got Heru or her, H-E-R. When you see H-E-R, that's her. We say her today, and we refer to that as the feminine. But when you go to Kemet, her is Heru, and Heru is a masculine deity. So that's a whole nother topic of its own. But I thought I'd throw it in there since I was at the he tip part right there. But Nebatip, she carries the seed basket on her head or whatever. I guess I get into that when I go more into the top part with the seed basket thing. I kind of broke it down early, a couple videos ago when I was talking about the center. But let's get to it though. So, like I was saying, you had the light, all the light that went, when all that melanin came down here to create this. Neith. That's the other name, Neith. Neith is the, and if you look at it, you got Neith and you got Mayat, the balance, justice, the Ma, the level. That's the goddess you see in Kemet with the she's like sitting squatted with her wings stretched out. Same thing right here. So you have the Neith. Now Neith is one of the attributes of Neith is she's a weaver. The Neith. Now you look at the name within itself refers to a lot of things that deal with with the seamstress. Neith. Neith is N-E-I-T-H. Neith. Neith. Knit. Needle. Neith. Needle. And she's the seamstress, or she's the weaver. Now, this dealing with it from the side aspect, or the cool, or the inside of the bowl. I would have to say, okay, when you knit something, or you sewing something, basically you sewing the cloth You sewing it together, or you bringing it together via sewing. Now, I broke down the process about the how you had the 7 that came down, and then you had the 7 that went up to erect the lamp. Now, each one of these 7, that's another thing too, how it came to me. See, that's how this whole process kind of unfolded to me. Because like I said, I've been contemplating how the universe came into existence ever since 2000, to be safe, we'll say 2008, maybe late 2007. But my first theory was backwards, and then I started studying sacred geometry in 2015 or something like that. I had a book called How the World Was Created Through Sacred Geometry. And I think when I started that book along with Ancient Egypt Light of the World, because those were 2 books I was into kind of heavy at that time, I think those started unlocking my subconscious mind in regards to that topic. Because I can still remember, let me see, switch up, go right here quick. Okay, so I'm gonna come back to that real. I just want to show y'all something real quick. Show you niggas something real fast. Now, I was looking at the symbol for 1. The symbol for 1 is just a regular circle. Pay no mind to these right here real quick. We just say a regular circle with the dot in the middle. So I was looking at that and I was like, well, I said, okay, so that's 1. That's the original symbol for 1. So I said you have a 0 or a circle with a dot in the middle. And I remember just using my imagination. I was like, well, when I saw the 0 and then the 1 in the center, or the 1 dot in the center, and I started thinking about the binary code of computers, like on the Matrix. You see basically how computers are ran, but you remember on the Matrix, you start seeing the 0 1, 0 1, 0 1. So I imagine a pillar coming from out of that 1. Coming from out of that center of that 0 or that circle and jumping to the side of it, creating a 0 and a 1. Or you put it on this side, say 10. But I was in the Matrix mode, so when I imagined it, I was looking at it in the symbol in a book or something, or I think I had drew it or something like that. I imagined that this is way before all this other shit I'm doing right now. This is just me trying to just me using my imagination, just pushing my imagination to the pushing the envelope of my imagination. So I imagined a pillar or a line jumping from out of there and then jumping to the side and creating a 0 and a 1. Now I know that may sound crazy, but if you pay attention to what's going on, the shit makes sense now. And I start thinking about the Matrix and all that shit. I said, oh, okay. See, them niggas think I be jiving and running my chops when I tell them I'm Neo the One. That character, Neo, is based on me. It may sound crazy, but if you've been following my work and what I've been doing, you know the deal. If you haven't, you need to go and you probably need to go back to my first page, Starface Spaceship, on YouTube. But that's how I came to that. And then I started thinking about how 2 and 3 came. Woo. That was like 2015. Now, This came around. I started picturing this. I said around 2018, something like that. I think it was 2018. I think that's when my theory started to switch up and come more to this, as opposed to my original concept or the original way I imagined everything coming into existence or whatever. So so that's why I was trying to explain to y'all in one of the other videos that I use certain, I synthesize certain information from different sources to assist me with figuring out all this stuff right here. But it came from a place of intuition ultimately. For example, just like these lines right here, these veins going up right here. Cause like this and this came from that concept I was just telling y'all about, when when I started going back, when I went back into figuring out how everything came into existence, or how the physical world came into fruition. I went back to that night in 2014, 2015, when I pictured the one coming up the pillar, creating the one hopping out the center of that circle. But this time I imagined the one going up, and I imagined another one coming down from the bottom or whatever. No, it just unfolded like that to me, just like these right. And then once I did that, I had this, then I had that, and then some told me to draw lines draw a line going up from each cluster of melanin, going up from the bottom and down from the top. And then when I did that, that's when I saw the little men. If you look, it look like men with their arms raised up, and then these are like men with their arms coming down. And that's when I saw the Jacob wrestle with the angel. You see how they grappling each other, this one and that one, this one and that one. So, when niggas wrestling, what they do, the first thing they do is grapple up. You know what I'm saying? Lock up. So that's Jacob wrestling with the angel. All the 7 candlesticks. When you dealing with the Hanukkah, I think it was Hanukkah, when they got the 7 lamps or the 7 candlesticks or whatever. That's this right here. So to take it back to Neef, first and foremost, when all that melanin came down here, you have to go into the Ptah. Each one of these would be a worker of Ptah. Ptah will be right here, and then each one of these would be his workers. And you can picture, as the melanin was coming down here, remember I told you the light that was up in here were the workers of Ptah. These are the builders. Ptah is the really would be considered the Ptah would probably be the one of the ultimate signs, or most revered signs within Freemasonry, because Masonry is building guilds and stuff like that. So they would be the ones, the light, or the light beams, or the particles of light, the entities that was up in these crevices right here, the gold, they were digging out trenches and holes called tunnels of Set. You read up on that too. The tunnels of Set, the tunnels of Ptah. They were digging out. So with these right here, you got so let's just say you got this cluster right here, melanin, and then you got the pygmy or the Ptah picking or digging back up this way, creating a spring or well. Because when it's all said and done, you're gonna have water shooting up from each one of these, or different form. Really, all four elements are gonna come from here. Once the sun come back down here and meet up with these, and they all have to be forged through that fire. And but each one of these here are gonna come up to the top and have little springs or wells to where once everything get to popping down here, all that liquid and stuff gonna be shooting out the top, like spring waters from out of the spring or whatever. So you'll have them digging those 7 springs or 7 springs on each side, and then you'll have light just coming straight across, or the workers of Ptah digging and picking this way and this way, all throughout there. Now I know it's just you're looking at it on this page, and that'll suffice. But think about that in terms of the earth that we live on beneath us, and then you can understand where our where the oil reservoirs. So that's all that is what it'll be. Those tunnels down here, that'll be like your rock quarries, where you go and gold mines, rock quarries, where you go and dig up stones or whatever, oil reservoirs, caves, and of course, last but not least, the irrigation tunnels for water or whatever, the most precious mineral or whatever. So you have those tunnels. Now take it back to African Origins of Biological Psychiatry by Mr. Richard King. I was telling y'all about the let me go back to it. Where I had left off at. Oh, I'll kick it right here too. Cause in that last video, I was reading that part where it said drunkenness and intoxication, but I missed this part. Let me show you where it comes from. So it said, it's talking about he gives to, okay, I'll start from the top of this page. It say he talking about the translation of the Tutankhamun tomb, and he says in the 5th line of the translation, a word was left out, but it appears in the notes, namely, insert metuneta. Metuneta is a verb of motion, meaning to travel, go, journey. For reference to the meaning, see Budge's Dictionary, which is a book I really need to get my hands on, because I'll be figuring this out on my own, but I know it's a whole lot of jewels in that. Because he breaks down the Budge Dictionary is basically where you have all the translations for the hieroglyphic or the Kemetic words or whatever. But take it back to Meduneta. Meduneta, M, that's your mother. The M and the do, Madu. Do means two. The double ma, the two mothers. Well, when this becomes the moon, you have the dark. This will be the light's mama. the light mother and the dark mother. And then you got netter, which nature, netter, NT, because it's spelled, sometimes you see it spelled NTR, sometimes you, just like with the Medu, sometimes you see it spelled with the vowels, sometimes you see it spelled without the vowels. Like right here, they don't have the vowels, it's just MDUNTR. But sometimes you will see it spelled MDUNETER. So, they say it means motion, meaning to travel, go, journey. So, here's a few definitions for it. Medu Netta, or the double mother, and the Medu nature, mother or Medu or mother, mud, melanin, Medu nectar or nectar. Now that's where we come back to neath, because even when you look at the word NTR, neither, the knitter. Where I just tell you what neath is, a weaver, the knitter. Now, if you take that R, the R in the L, and it's interchangeable. You can swap those out, which is a good thing to do, because that's how you that's another way of unlocking certain things. So if I take that R and I turn it into an L, I have metal needle, or needle. The needle. This is the needle. The double ma and the needle. The needle up. And then it's another word here where it's NTL with W, needle up, needle loop. Which that would be the W, because you got your capital W, but ultimately the W is the symbol. W or WS is the symbol for the West. This would be the West, the bottom, the underworld. This would be the East, this would be the West. So when you see when they put the W on it, NTLW, needle low, or it'll be like saying needle low or needle low, the low needle, the low needle, the needle below, the needle below. The needle underneath leads you to peace. That's some shit I wrote in regards to that. I'm a poet and a scholar as well. So when you put the L on it, see, another word for NTR is the net R. The net R. What's the net R? Let me get it popping for you real quick. We're gonna get back to the sweat as well too, but let's come right here. This is the net. See, when you're dealing with the L and the R is interchangeable, because when you're dealing with, let me show you what you're dealing with the L. Two forms. When you're dealing with the lowercase L, you'll be dealing with just this right here. This is an L, as well as an I. And then when you're dealing with the capital L, it'll be up here. So when you see, say you reading certain things in regards to Egypt, when you see a capital L or a capital something or a capital A, see that's the capital A right here. The little A's are right here in the center. The letter A itself, remember I just told you how you had workers of Patar that did that energy that was digging those trenches down here. That's what the letter A, the lowercase. So we're dealing with the lowercase letter. The lowercase letters come from the lower aspect of the spear. See a A. Let me show y'all real quick. This shit gets deep. I'm finna show you how the lowercase A represents the energy that was digging those trenches over under here. Now remember, I just told you this the top A, this the capital A. Now let me show you the structure, how the structure of the lowercase a how it pertains to the hoeing or the digging of the trenches in the underground. Well, for one, you can see it right here. You look at an A, two versions. It's another where's the other goddamn book at? But anyway, you see an A. Can't see shit right there. Make it a little bigger. You see the A right there, the lowercase a. And then you can see it right here. But it's another shape, another form of the A. Now, look at this A. Well, A from this page, a lowercase a. Let's see. Okay, we'll go right there. Now, you see that A? Okay, I gotta hurry up. Now, you see how that A built? You got the, and you got the little belly right there. See how it's like an R, the top is like an R, right? And then you got the little belly under it, the A. That's the R, the whole thing together is an A. But I'm gonna show you something. So I just showed you the A that had the R that was shaped like an R with a little A or a little half circle up against the under it, under the R, making the A. That's when you're dealing with the R, you're dealing with this the R. Then you come up here, this will be the top part of the R, which symbolizes, it's also in the shape of a hole. What does a hole do? You dig a trench or holes. You know, when you was a farmer, when you ready to plant your seeds, you use the hoe to dig holes in the ground and then plant your seeds for your crops in them or whatever. So when you see that A I just showed you in that book, you have you have this part where it looks just like this right here, really. There it go right there. So when you see R, the letter R is pertaining to the raking or the trench digging on the surface. But then when you look at the letter A, so the letter A has that the letter the version I just showed you has the R, but then it has the little pouch at the bottom. That pouch at the bottom references the underworld or below. So the lowercase a would be translated as, when you look at it in regards to that would be the seed in the so you used to just see that R when you look at the way when you look at the version I just showed you, you see that R over the top, and that's the hoe. But so but the little pouch at the bottom, which makes the rest of the A, basically that little pouch is denoting this part right here. So it's saying that it's the hoeing, but not the hoeing of the top. It's the hoeing of the bottom. That's what the little pouch under the R, and that when you make under that in the version of the A I just showed you, that's what it refers to. So each one of these would be an A rowing or hoeing or hoeing this way. The R stands for the rowing too. So when you see that A, that lowercase a, it's referring to down here. And let me pick up the pace real quick. So we're gonna get back to this the sweat. Well, I'm gonna go back to this right here. Oh, that's another thing. So it says metaneta is a verb of motion, meaning to travel, go, journey. So you got the needle, you got netter meaning the neath, the neater, the needle. When you deal with the L, you're dealing with the center. But then when you're dealing with the NTL, it'll be the center. Then when you're dealing with the NTR, that's when you start dealing with the R or the R, whatever. Even if you was to draw a uppercase R, it'll still bring you right here because it'll be the backbone, the protrusion, and then the stem would come in here. Same way if it was this way. Boom. So and say metaneta means action, to go, to move. This is the net. Jiggy child. This is the net. All the light is going to eventually be dragged up in the hill and concentrated in this last ring. Then you got the 4 paddles which spin. So you got the everything spinning in motion. Hence the definition metaneta, to go or be in motion. Net, NT, net, netter, NET-ER. That's the net rowing. The 4 paddles rowing the net. Net a row. The net a row. R, oars, OARS is what you use to paddle boats with. Rs, HRSE. The 4 horsemen. The 4 horsemen. The horses. Horsepower. Ain't that what we call the power that moves engine and cars? Horsepower. The 4 paddles that spin. So that'll be the net and the row. The net and the row. Then when you take that R and turning into L at the W. Now see, the W is the W is synonymous with the word west. What is the west? The west is where Osiris, the sunset or Osiris goes to the west to transform, or to, as we most commonly looked at as to die and resurrect and come back in the form of the sun, Heru. So this is the west. This is the underworld. See a W right there. That's the underworld. The lowercase W, where he goes to become. This would be the uppercase W. But this would be more so of the west right here, because it'll be the lowercase W. When Osiris goes to the west, he gets broke down into lowercase or little part. The little Osiris, he gets broken down into little particles of light, just like the lowercase, the uppercase. When it becomes lowercase, it becomes smaller. So when you're dealing with Neith, the dark goddess Neith, let me go to that. Go back right here, because I've said that about the drunkenness. Well, break it down how. Well, I go back through it real quick. So you got Neith. Neith was considered the Isis was the birth mother of Horus, and Neith was the wet nurse. She was the one who nourished him through her breast or whatever. So when all that melanin was coming down here, I was telling you, it was perspiring, or the moisture was perspirating from the inside to the surface like sweat. And you had the water that came to the top. Because I said yesterday, I don't know, last video, I was saying how all the water came to the top. And sprinkled around the outer layer like as if it was beads of sweat. And that happened too, but then a lot of the water that was inside of the moisture, the moisture that was inside of the melanin dripped into those tunnels that was dug down here. And that created our water supply, or what would go on to become our water supply. So you had the water, the moisture that came to the top, and then you had the speckles of gold within the melanin and on the top, which represented the baby Horus, the little particles of light that commingled with the water, creating the wine, that giving it, golden water. Wine, when you look at wine, I know it's different types, you know what I'm saying, but you have the golden wine as well. So when they say Jesus turned water into wine, or the water being turned into the wine process, that's what they're referring to. These being the breast of Nu, or Neith, and the nourishment. I know it sounds redundant, but I'm gonna keep hitting you with it. The nourishment coming from inside of the melanin, or the water coming from inside of the melanin, being the nourishment that the gold or the little specks of light, i.e. the babies, nourished upon, or were nourished upon, or whatever. These are the, of course you have two others on the other side, the four titties of Nit, or the four tits, or whatever. But then right here it says, the only meaning for this word that I know of are that Annie, tune to, drunkenness, intoxication, mixed up. So deal with this real quick. Go back to that, and then I hit y'all with that. I might have to come back and do a whole video on this shit here by itself, cause all right,
take y'all back to where I left off at. You have this middle line right here. WNN. Win, woo, wooning, or win. Then you got the next word, which is NSWT. Win, no sweat. And then you got NB, nib, that means gold. Nub, Nubia, nub means gold. And then you have T, backwards 3, WY. That 3, replace that with a C, because C is the third letter of the alphabet. So you have win, WNN, NSWT, nuswet. When new sweat. When new sweat, nib, or nibble, nub, gold. When new sweat, gold. The gold sweat is the gold, is the water mixing with the light, giving it the gold color. When new sweat, gold. And then to chewy, TCWY will be chewy, gooey, chewy.
Melanin is chewy, gooey, like gum.
Then it says neb, NB, after the chewy is NB gold, neb, BPR, nebber, probably where you get the word burp from, because what you do after you because it look like Neberu too, because you got Neberu, which means Lord hey root, because you got the neb and you got bipper, nebber, but it don't have the root. So that's probably what I gotta break the BPR word down and see what I can get out of that. And then after that you got JC, J, and you got like a small C, HC, W. So that'd be like Jackaku, Jikaku, or Jihiwu, Jiku, or whatever. But then it's translated, but the translation given here is the King Lord of the two lands, Neb Keperah, will appear. So that's the Sambo thing, the Harsam Tawi, the center point which connects the two. Now I want to show y'all something else. But how much time I got left? Oh, we still got like 13 minutes. Show y'all something else. Y'all might say, "Oh, this nigga here just tripping. He just running his flaps." I'm gonna show you some shit here. We gonna get down to it. You know, you might say, "Oh, he just looking at these words and coming up with what he want." I'm gonna show you some shit. You think it's a game? All right, look at this shit. I'm gonna fuck you up with this one. Now I gotta fuck you up. Ass kicking or teaching, however you want to, whatever the side of the line you want. All right, let me see. I don't take my goofiness for weakness. I just be trying to make this shit a little fun or have a little sense of humor with this shit. But well, I am not that nigga to play with. Trust me on that one. You will feel the wrath. Now look at this shit. Now we're gonna deal with this line right here. See that? That's new, Netaru, M, Sure, Pen, Head, Wet, Ruck, Cook, M, Hick. Remember the 3 is the C. Hickson, mixing. See, that's how you gotta see. What I'm showing y'all. Pay attention to how I'm fucking with these letters, because it'll benefit you if you really serious about this study. Now watch this shit. This is new, needle. M. Sharpen hard with rock mixing. New Netheroo me sharpen. New Netheroo me sharpen hard with. So let's take that R and change it into an L. New needle or new needle low needle. The new needle low me sharpen hard with rock mixing. What is the needle being sharpened hard with rock? But I just told, what I tell y'all about this new needle being sharpened hard with rock is referring to the backbone of Osiris being sharpened or created by the stones that the melanin became in the center when the backbone was being created. So when it say new needle sharpened hard with rock, it's talking about the rocks or the melanin becoming dehydrated, hard stones pushing in on the center of that pillar of salt that was created due to the concentrated light coming in contact with that melanin, turning into particles of salt, which were pushed, compressed, and sharpened into the backbone of Osiris. New needle me sharpen hard with rock. New sharpens the needle. New is the melanin. New needle me sharpen hard with rock. Mixing. The last word was M. Well, it was after rock is M, me, and then you got HCT Hickerson. He cuts in. Me, you can look at it as me. It sounds like me Hickson, mixing. That's a part of it too. But if you just say rock, then you look at you go rock me, and then you go to the last letter, the last word, which is HCT/SN Hickson. He cuts in. Remember, this the center. New sharpened needle hard with rock. He cuts in. He cuts in. He cuts in. Sin. HCT/SN. HCT. He cut. Sin. Sin. I remember I told you it's the center. He cut center. So you see how I just did that? Now you can take it or leave it, but I'll read it again. You got noon. Then you got NTRW, noon, knit, root, knit, new needle root or new needle, new needle, M, sharp, SHR, sharp, PN, pen, or you could take that L, the R on sharp, and turn it into an L, and then you have new needle root M slipping hard with rock. Slip in hard with rock. Slipping in. So yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of shit right here I can really get into. It's another one I'm gonna show y'all too that's gonna really blow. You know, you might even look at that and say, oh, he's just still tall. Okay, then the next one I do when I start dealing with that top, you gonna really see it. So yeah. How much time we got left? Oh yeah, I want to break down with Aaliyah too. Cause I know when I did when I did the Formation of the Earth video, I was speaking about Aaliyah, and I was saying how I wondered if she studied Egypt, and she did. I saw a little bit after that. I saw a video where she said she had always been interested in Egypt or whatever.
So I'm gonna show you one of her Isis songs, or one of her old Sirius songs, back in One Piece, with her and Anoop, with her and DMX. One of the people that assist Isis in her journey in redeeming the father is Anubis, the dog. She got DMX on the song back in One Piece. What does Isis do? She regains all the pieces of Osiris and puts them back in one piece. Or we can go take it to the backbone right here. Let me see it. Yeah. Remember, I broke down how I've been breaking down how the backbone was created. The particles of sand, the particles of salt that was created due to the concentrated light coming in contact with the melanin, being particles of salt pushed to compress or sharpened or pushed together by the melanin, creating the 33 columns of the vertebrae back in one piece. She puts the melanin would be Isis, the particles of sand, of salt will be the mutilated body of Osiris, the compression of the melanin or the pressure from the melanin pushing up on the center, causing the salt to coagulate or compress or push together, would be the reassembling of the body of Osiris, i.e. back in one piece. Back in one piece. That was interesting. And then when you look at the old saying, knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone. Anubis is melanin. So that same melanin, this stuff be interchangeable. That same melanin that we look at as Isis or Neith or Noon, Anubis is a dark god as well. He's a melanin god. So you say knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone. Knick-knack, N-I-C-K. When you see a word with I in it, like nick, bick, or something like that, it's usually dealing with the center. That's why even when you say it, pick, you can feel your energy running through the center. So like I might say bow, that's like so you can feel like that's like an expansion. When you say like nick, pick, ick, like this is the pick, the ick. You have your N, then your I, C, K. But you're dealing with the center, the nick, knack, paddywhack. The pad would be the top, the surface, the pad. Where they say give a dog a bone, that's the melanin being the dog, that thin layer of light, or that thin concentrated point of light transforming into the backbone would be giving the dog the bone. A lot of these fables and little things, nursery rhymes and shit, a lot of this shit is really in regards to the process of the earth being created. Fee, fi, fo, fum. Fee, F-E, fi, F-I, fo, F-O, fum, F-U-M. Remember I told you the vowels are interchangeable. I, A-E-I-O-U. Or in this case it'll be fee, fee will be E, F-E, fi will be F-I, fo will be F-O, fum will be F-U-M. You see the only difference between them outside of the M in the fum would be the interchanging of the second letter, which is a vowel. So I know this time finna run out. Yeah. But I'll be back and we'll take it to the top on this next one. Because this shit finna get real good right here. So y'all stay tuned, man. Hope y'all enjoying this shit and learning.